What if just one person could make the difference between you living an average or an amazing life? See, about 100 years ago, there were these two little boys, and they weren't much different than you or me. You know, when you're little, you have big dreams and even bigger imagination. And they had loving parents. They were blessed. Their father was a bishop, and one day he was talking to a college professor about philosophy, and the college professor said, "I think that in the next few years, man will fly." And the bishop said, "That's preposterous. Flight is reserved for angels and birds." And why does this matter? Because that man, that bishop, his name was Bishop Wright, and his boys were named Orville and Wilbur. And we know how that story turns out. So what is it that the Wright brothers had that pushed them through the noise, the disbelief of others? Someone so important as a father to a son. They had three things. And we'll get to those in a minute, but let me ask you this. Have you ever had someone who didn't believe in you, who told you you couldn't do what you dreamed? I know I have, but I was blessed as a kid. I actually didn't have that experience in childhood. My parents told me I could do anything I put my mind to, and I believed it. But what's the problem there is that you don't get to take them into your future. You don't get to take them to college. And if you're looking back, I know you can think of somebody. Maybe it's not your parent. Maybe it's a teacher or a coach. Somebody in your life believed in you, but you didn't get to take them to the workforce, into adulthood. And what happens is you get the world on top of you. And for me, there was a 10-year span where I had no fewer than 3 bosses who told me, they were unknowingly dream killers. The first one told me, "You know what's wrong with you? You know what your problem is you want to change the world." Yeah, I do. And the second said to stand up in front of my peers and give half of what my goal was for the year as our goal set meeting. And the third laughed over the phone with me when I told them my business dreams. But that didn't used to be a problem for me as a kid. I used to see that as a challenge and an opportunity to prove myself because I had those believers with me, the people who believed in me. But what changed? The people around me changed. So I walked into a job, one of the most confident people you would ever meet. And in no less than 2 years, I felt worthless and incompetent. Have you ever felt that way? The people around me didn't believe in me. And they weren't even important people to me. They were just the people I saw every day. And I allowed that to get into my body, my blood, my heart. And it affected me. I withdrew from everybody around me, my parents, my family, my friends. I picked up bad habits. Have you ever been there in that pit of despair where you just don't even want to talk to anyone, you don't even want to wake up? You just show up to work because you have to? But I was in the business of believing in other people. So, by the grace of God, one day I stood up and said, enough is enough. I don't need this job. I can take my talents elsewhere. And my boss made a phone call, and he transferred me to a different location where I was promoted. But it wasn't a normal promotion. This was a weird promotion. The studio was about to close. The business was going down. The people in the team were just a ragtag team of individuals. We were all misfits, people who nobody believed in. And over that next year, miracles happened. We were amazing. We achieved things that we had not achieved before. That studio just went off the charts. The person who worked directly for me ended up winning all kinds of awards, being number 2 in the world. And it was because of those same 3 things those boys had. Number 1, a vision. Number 2 was we had persistence. And number 3, which is the most important thing, is that we had each other. We had someone who believed in us. So let me ask you this. Are you the type of person? Who are you for the people around you? Are you the person that's going to help them be average, or are you going to be the person who is going to help them be amazing? And do you have someone in your life who is helping you live an amazing life? And if you don't, find one. I'm Kathleen Seals, and I can be that person for you.